Hello. Greetings. Ha, greetings to all. I have. Hello. How is, am I audible? Am I hearable? Is this thing on? Oh, yeah. I'm thinking it's on. We. Yeah. I hope we're freaking on. I have Minecraft on the mind. I have not been able to quit quoting this movie. Oh, this is rude of me. It is. I must say hi. Hello to A squared chicken jockey chicken jockey chicken jockey indeed. First we mine, then we craft. Minecraft. Hello XR Xavier as well. Hello XR Xavier robot. The robot. Oh, we have. I think we have removed removed Mrao temporarily to prevent recursive aspects of existence. Yeah, it has been it has been quarantined temporary, like SCP style, like quarantation quarant quarantinization. What is the act of here? Let me switch to the screen where it's not Jack Black saying chicken jockey. It, it's Jack Black saying they love crushing a loaf. Uh, core core cortinalization. This might be the case. I think now this makes you think of as a kid, or you like as a youth. I was obsessed with what is the word? The longest word in the English language? Anti dis estab is it establishmentarianism? I believe this is the case. Yeah. The doctrine or political position that opposes the withdrawal of state recognition of an established church, used especially concerning the Anglican Church in England. Um, yeah, I was into this word. I thought it was cool as hell that I knew the longest word in the English language. I thought this made me like I thought this like you know it made me a cut above the rest. I guess would be the way to describe it. I would frequently state that this was the longest word without any context of anything else beyond knowledge that it was a really long freaking word. Um, uh, Fact that makes you cool in middle school. This is the case. This is the case. I thought I was hip. I thought I was the most like hip kid on the block for this. I was like, I nobody else knows the longest word ever. I thought I was like beholden to some secret knowledge. I didn't even know what it meant. I didn't even know. I The Anglican Church of England. These words were hot air to me, so to speak. They were specters, to my mind. I did not have enough of a developed brain to hold more than like four or five complex words in there at once. I used all the space on this big word, this massive word. But I hope you good people are well. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I hit the go live button and said, oh goodness, I'm alive. This is it's been a hot moment. But yeah, yeah. I hope you great people are well. I hope you great people are well. I have been busy. This is uh well, yeah. This is kind of like how things are beginning to unfold, I guess. So as many know, the the movement the moving is upcoming. Wait, and the moving is upcoming, and this has led to doing a lot of things all the time, like be it like preparation or movement does. Some would say this is perhaps the nature of reality, things moving all the time, things in the universe like to spin in circles. I think about this sometimes, like the circle is more of an elliptical, I guess you would say. But you know making a somewhat circular movement seems to be the vibe in life. I spin in circles a lot too. That's kind of like what I do on some of my work breaks. Is I'll spin really fast in a circle. Sometimes I feel like I feel like a hamster almost without a wheel, and so I'll just spin around in a circle. Oh, hello, Kieran. Welcome. I hope you're well. I love what is a circle but a boring ellipse. I love getting dizzy. I used to think getting dizzy was really fun. I used to think it was really fun. I would, but these people. I think of what dervishes, I believe, were the the whirling dervish. I think of the whirling dervishes. I This is a thing in Turkey. It is a form of it may be outside of Turkey as well. I'm only aware of it like in the cultural context of Turkey, but this was a form of practice, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever because I'm just like, you know, I thought it was sick. Spinning around is really fun. But yeah, it's been it's been busy. It's been busy in this world. Between the like planning for the actual moving, like looking at places, calling places, packing things up, arranging a U-Haul is kind of the next step. Is kind of the next step. Like between this and hanging out with pals whom I know I shall not see for quite some time once I hit the road has been the combo. Now I'm old and my joints hurt and I can't bend down, and if I spin more than 5 degrees a second, I feel like I'm about to throw up. You see, I get hit by the nausea bug pretty frequently these days, but mostly in automobiles. pushing pushing on 90. I feel this way about myself sometimes. I feel like every now and then I feel as if I've aged like 400 years in the past 2 years. Like, you know, I think I think what happened. I think what like what a, I don't understand kids these days. So lambda XY. Wait, that's robot. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I feel like what happened for me is like 2 or so years ago, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, like my brain finished did it fully developed, and ever since then, like, my brain fully developed, and then I proceeded to age 30 years over the span of the past like 2 or 3 years since then. Like the 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 fountain of youth hath left me whenever my brain finished developing, and now it is now my legs hurt, my knees hurt sometimes, you know, and things such as that. I did start getting back into, like, I used to be kind of into yoga. I got back into that a little bit recently, just kind of like moving around, like whenever I get a chance, like at work. I used to be a very mobile person, and then I became relatively immobile, and now I'm striking a balance. But yeah, it's been a lot of moving around, like in prep for the moving. Seeing friends has been probably one of the bigger parts currently, because a lot of other people I know are moving as well. This kind of does. Which, speaking of which, on the I am going with friends to a Renaissance festival in 2 days, which is exciting. It'll be a grand old adventure out and about. I will pretend to be a medieval. I don't really. I have not been to one in some time, but it shall be fun, I think. Yeah, I used to go to them a lot because I used to compete in the poetry contest, and I would win. Usually like second or I never won first, but I would win second or third place, like relatively frequently, and so I'd always get to go to the Renaissance festivals because my school was like, oh, you got to go up there and get your medal. It was rather fun. It was rather fun, but I haven't been since then. So this is going to be exciting. And so I was looking into it, and look at they have a they have a hawk walk. They have a hawk walk. They they have a hawk walk. Is there a Tua walk as well? Is I wonder about this. I saw the word hawk, and I know it means the animal, but I think Hawk Tua, yeah, Hawk Tua, yeah, mine Tua craft on that thing. You know, she mine on my craft till I chicken. I don't. She might have. I'm combining things now. I'm speaking. You know, kind of like, Greg Gouin. This is probably the case. I feel at times like, you know, I think about like the kids these days and their jokes kind of thing. You know, like I started around the time that like Skibbity Toilet like started falling off is whenever I began to lose some level of my connection. But like I still I feel the humor and some of the jokes. I feel the humor, but I feel them in like a way that to me almost feels like senile to a degree. Like I feel like I'm just getting like pure glossolalia from like the Minecraft movie phase or phrases. Well, this is perhaps an attachment to Minecraft itself, like as well, is an aspect of this. 2012 Tumblr. You see, I was never a Tumblr kid. I was never a Tumblr kid. I was on I was on Roblox forums. I was a forum kid. I was on Roblox forums primarily, and then I was on several others. Uh, Being little kids, and this is the case. Yeah, yeah. The joy of Minecraft. I remember playing it for the first time, like in middle school, and it's so wild that it's still like it's still going. Like I don't know. I keep thinking about this. Like it's not a like it's not like a great movie. Like it's not like this is not a cinematic masterpiece. That being said, like I'm gonna miss this moment. Like whenever the hype goes away for this, I'm I did shout chicken jockey every time as a child. I think of like that, and that's been the other thing is seeing like some of the references in the movie, seeing people get like excited. It's kind of like whenever the Lego movie came out, like many moons ago, and like seeing a movie that captured the same excitement I felt about Legos. I love cube shaped objects and popping them together. Like be it Lego, be it Minecraft. It is the same. I think the primary difference is like the Lego movie was like it was a good fucking movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like I even think about it now. That was a good ass movie. That the Minecraft movie is kind of bad, but it's funny, and it's funny in like an endearing way. It's like it's like it's like it's like watching a dad joke like as a movie almost. Like it's not like it's not good, but it's endearing, and it makes you feel happy watching it. Plus, like I'm not gonna lie, like Jack Black, he's funny. He's funny. Like when he says things, whenever he says this is a crafting tape, this is a crafting tape, flint and steel. I think of the crushing a loaf, like the delivery is beautiful. But yeah, I've been it was Minecraft movie with a pal last weekend. The the Renaissance Festival this upcoming weekend, and then probably I probably have to do something like next weekend as well. Visiting family is an aspect of the Flint and Steel. I've been okay. This is actually probably in the cards. This is probably in the cards because I was looking it up. And you have you have coming in hot. So ostensibly there's a Flint and Steel. Oh, hello, L colon Q. Well, welcome into welcome to the bugs. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. We are discussing the Minecraft movie and and childlike wonder. And childlike wonder. The I think honestly like they made it a lot of it was like internet buzzwords. A lot of it was like I guess you would say quote unquote like memes to some degree. But like whatever he said at the beginning, like as a child I yearned for the mine. So like I get that that's a that is a phrase that is a somewhat years old I think now like piece of internet humor, but it's kind of true at the same time. It's kind of this is kind of a thing. Like I feel that longing for going down a mine shaft as it once was. How funny it is to pretend not to understand the Pokemon's small child. The it's like it's still true. This is the case. Yeah, like they captured the wonder of like the desire to go down the mines. I don't really know why the piglins are villains. I did wonder about that. They're also like can we like the people who saw this? Can we talk about like the like to those who have seen it? Can we talk about how the villain kind of murders a kid in the movie? Like I was locked in fierce debate with my friend about this. I'm like, can we talk about that a kid like gets stabbed? Oh, it is a oh I shall. It's not a literal child death. It is a one off scene, but it looks like murder, and I'm like, what the hell? It's not plot relevant, but I shall be silent on this. I apologize for spoiler. I do apologize on this front, but there were. All I'll say is it was a kind of violent movie. Like I think about this, like I didn't expect it. I don't know, but I didn't expect the level of violence in some parts. I'm like, what the hell? But my favorite part, I think, was walking out and like hearing both the children exiting the theater and the adults like seem to have enjoyed it. Perhaps for different reasons on both fronts, but they kind of like this is the kind of movie that people with kids would probably go crazy for. Like they just like you got to take your kid to a movie and you got to take them to one that they like, but you want to go to one that like doesn't make you like you know doesn't make you like dread every minute of it. Like I think about this like it had a musical number. It had a yeah. Might as well see one that has the nostalgia. This is the case. But yeah, we did this last weekend. And with moving is kind of we right around the corner. Like it's 2 months away, but like really 2 months for like the preparation feels close to like 1 month. It's like a lot of truncation with having to get everything together. So I think on this front, like something I do think about is sort of we this shall probably cause I will say ripples to some degree within the bug zone. At least at least initially. And I guess by this what I mean is probably around May, there will be a brief a brief pause in a brief pause in the streaming cadence, which is already beginning to happen a bit as like I get more and more busy. Has already happened somewhat, but we'll probably go full stop on streaming in May for a little bit and persist until July, and then the hiatus shall be broketh, and we continue forward. Speaking of, we are like two processing steps from titanium. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, this is exciting. Yeah, I think we'll continue like around July, like once I get no game on streams. Oh, oh wait, yeah, wait, I forget when Pride Month actually because my city does Pride like in August, which is kind of weird, I think, but maybe a one off. This might be the case. This might actually be the case. Pride Month is June, right? I always get the month and then like my city celebration mixed up. Uh, I get the two. I get the two jostled around in my head. Can we give me pride? We'd probably do a one off if this is the case because I think yeah it is observed in June. Why does my city do it in August? That's odd. Well, I think it's just the big events are on all in August. Oh, I'm gonna miss theirs. Damn, I'm gonna miss theirs this year. That's sad. Yeah, we'll probably do a one-off. We'll probably have a gay old time as they say in the Flintstones intro. But quite literally, we'll have a gay old time. This will be this will be fun. but yeah, I think we could do a one-off for sure. I'll try and plot something around that time. It'll probably be like the week, probably the week of. Perhaps it'll be the last thing I do before I pack up my computer. I will say, all right, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna wild out here, and then I'll put my computer in a box and begin journeying, and then we will we will proceed business as usual come July. Exor killed cat. What the fuck? Cat killed and cold. Oh, this is. Are you sure it wasn't curiosity that killed the cat? That's why I always hear people state. Rest in peace, though. Rest in peace, Exor cat. Wait, not sending. Can we just say rip cat? Rip cat. Oh, we're so back. Oh, it's like a Schrodinger's cat. Okay. But yeah, I keep thinking like, I've been thinking like once I come back, like I shall be honest. I'm not really sure like what we do once, because I have the two big things, Wayland and then Lisp on the stack. Eventually, these get finished, and I'm like, what happens then? And I sort of know. I think to some degree, like I should not quit pressing the go live because this is too fun for me to press go, like press it, have no idea what I'm gonna do for like 2 hours and just yap and do things, you know yap and potentially like make progress in things, but I we'll probably move, like, I mean, at least for a brief stint, if the interest still holds a couple months from now, we'll probably end up like going pure math for a little bit. I think this is kind of an inevitable conclusion. Like, I think I've mentioned this a little bit, but I've been doing less programming and more math like in my downtime lately. Like, it's been really fun. I feel like a kid again. I feel it's been exciting. This might be a direction that we go for a little bit. You know, this is that's what I'm doing pretty much. Oh, math is fun. It really is. It's kind of started. All I do is graph theory homework now. Oh, this is the homework aspect maybe not as exciting. But graph, this is exciting. You see, I haven't done it since, like, I haven't like just done like recreational like mathematics since I was in college. You know, and I started reading how to prove it lately, because I'm like, I should get back in the saddle with this stuff. And I've just been reading about prime numbers, like, for fun. Like, I forget the name. They start with an N. I know that they're how you find perfect numbers. Yeah. The Mersini primes. I've been like, did you know 8 is prime? Fundamental theorem of arithmetic goes freaking crazy. Yeah, I've been doing proofs for fun, and I'm just like, I'm just like, we have to go, like, probably we have to go, like, I don't I'll probably my secret bedtime activity before or between in the hiatus period of stream will probably end up like being a proof assistant, like getting toward one of those. And we might just go this style for a while, just for fun. Crazy how little we still understand about the natural numbers. I think about this. I think about this because it's like, I don't know. I get kind of like, I guess, overly poetic thinking about mathematics, but it's so cool to me because it's this thing that it's this thing that like exists, like, it's like, I guess you would say, like, to some degree, like a universal, like mathematics is kind of like exists like per the laws of like logic themselves. Like this is, but it's also a thing that is man made to some degree. Like the symbols, the symbols and etc. Like the way we describe these things, like are like instruments of like human will and drive to understand more about the very nature of like of comes from axioms of logic, which this is it. Yeah, it's like it's. I mean, it's basically like philosophy, like reflected in on itself to some degree. I and this, I will not say I have like a strong understanding of philosophy whatsoever. This was never my field of interest. Uh, no systemic unsolvable issues to this approach. Yeah, I think like I have a friend who was like more on the philosophy side, and he yep, yeah, my friend, he was a big fan. Like I think at the end he just started doing straight up math, and I think like it's just I don't know. Like I think about it kind of in the context of like I did a lot of or I was mostly into physics for a little bit, but there was something about like just like the like the actual like proof systems and everything, straight up hard math. Yeah, I love physics. I definitely, but even then, like there was some degree of frustration because it was like physics is still like about like making like forming, I guess you would say, like some sort of like it is grounded in the observable universe to like it quite literally is grounded in the observable universe, like much like uh is very interesting. Yeah, I think my or like one of my good friends, I do not think that he subscribes to this any longer, but he was a big fan of, I believe they were called the Vienna Circle. I think it was this was the name. This was the yeah this he was he was a big fan of the Vienna Circle. I asked him, I think somewhat recently, if he still felt I or had like his opinions on this still, and he was like, oh yeah, I think I was just kind of wrong about a few things. And I can't speak on like the rightness or the wrongness, because I don't know enough about like philosophy like at all. Like I won't even pretend to. My favorite philosopher is, I would say, probably Henry David Thoreau. That's also like the only one I know. Uh, Guys, can we have a cool cult circle in which they will write a Wikipedia article about in 40 years? I think about it. Wikipedia is fun. As a kid, I used to like think about writing like fake Wikipedia lore, or like a fake, I get world building. Yeah, this was it. I used to, I these stayed confined to notebooks, which do exist to some degree still. Where we're excited. Oh, this would be, imagine like a green circle Wikipedia article, and this would be exciting. This would be rather epic, as they say. But yeah, I think of this because I think that the being a notable group. Wait 30 years and let me talk about our influence in the arts, gamer and otherwise. You see, I feel like I feel as if I deserve a Wikipedia article for my like collective knowledge of the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages alone. Like, um, your PhD in gamer arts. I kind of have this with like Elder Scrolls. This is like so much of it. I used to like. You ever go like open up a video game so you can just read the books? That was me with Morrowind for the lessons of evac. These are, you know, I used to think this like I'll never forget. Like I'm not even gonna. Like I'm getting excited just thinking about. I'll never forget like the feeling I got like first. My my first, I guess you would say, like, Elder Scrolls game was like Oblivion. You know, I didn't play Morrowind until I was much older, like after playing Oblivion and then Skyrim. But okay, I gotta be honest. Like I do talk trash about Skyrim now. Like it's an okay game. Like I have a lukewarm opinion of it, but I will be honest. Like as a youth, whenever I saw that Skyrim trailer, I lost my shit. Like I lost my mind. That was so cool. Like I remember seeing that and be like, this is the best time to be alive. This is the best time to exist in the world and own a console. Like I was like, this is, you know, I think about it now, and I remember playing Morrowind, and just I would walk around and listen to the music for like hours. I would get lost in the cantons of like Vivec because they all look the same. Yeah, things such as this. I used to know like every inch of the map. I no
Come,
longer do.
Nerevar, friend or traitor, come. Come and look upon the heart and the Kulakan.
Great work of it's like a great work of fiction or something. It really is. Maro, like, so this is kind of like what I think about, like, because like I've been playing a lot of arena lately, and it's kind of, I think about like Morrowind is when the Elder Scrolls like formed kind of like its identity as a thing. Like this is whenever the Elder Scrolls was like an identify. Well, it kind of all, Arena was groundbreaking and Daggerfall was as well, but these were to some degree like, you know these were still like somewhat like like especially Arena was somewhat of an isolated thing. It was I think it was named like the Elder Scrolls like one Arena, or whatever its packaging name was, just because they knew they could potentially like make a franchise out of it. And then Daggerfall is great too. Like I Daggerfall has grown on me as of late. Have you seen Coda.es? What is this? Yo, this is sick. Wait, whoa. I'm bookmarking this. Whoa. I kind of wait. This is so cool. I was not aware of this. I was. This is really cool. Um, Semi-official. I Oh, I love this. This is so cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. This is amazing. Yeah, I that's it. Like Elder Scrolls is sort of like like the I guess you would say like semi like like the D&D style answer to something like Warhammer 40K, almost, on the freaking moon. This is so cool. Yeah, I don't know. I used to spend forever just reading like the UESP sketchbook. Oh, these sketches are. Oh my goodness. Wait. Oh, I like these. I like these. Like it looks like quick sketches. This is this is kind of amazing. Ooh, fan con. Oh, they have it all here. They have it all. They have it all here. This is whoa. Dumner in like fancy attire. This is I kind of love this. No, I like Morrowind is sort of like where the I guess like like the identity of like what the shape of like Bethesda games to come. I guess you would say like not necessarily a great thing. I guess like or a great way to describe it. Like the shape of that like genre to come. Like was very Morrowind was like one of the like progenitors of that. That and then I guess you would say the Gothic series as well was like a big one. But yeah, near and dear. Oblivion, if I'm being honest, is probably I still love it, but it's probably my least favorite. I would say of them all. Skyrim is, what do they say? Like, vast as an ocean, shallow as a puddle. But it is fun. I will not lie. It is fun to run around Skyrim and just blow shit up. Like this is like just cast like Atronach spells and just like watch them like go like throttle like bandits. At Fusroda, this was so sick. This was so sick at the time. I think about this, but yeah, I think I think we'll probably do math in the future for a while. Once I at least once these projects get wrapped up, the Lisp on the stack and the Wayland, we'll probably go math mode for a little bit. And I don't know, occasional gaming as always, because sometimes I just wanna open up Steam and I wanna press launch a game on something. Our math on the stack. This is this was originally like a plan of mine. I wanted to I wanted to I wanted to like try and like build out some like like simple like proofs in fourth. I was trying to do this several months ago, and I kind of quit doing it because was I mean I just me and fourth were fighting with each other, I guess, for quite some time, and I forgot about it. Yeah, I forgot about it. That's basically what happened. I forgot this was something I wanted to do. But I shall I shall return to fourth at some point because this seems like too interesting of an avenue to explore. Probably not for math though. I'd probably for something like probably more low level style if I'm being honest. This it seems more suited to this. I had some degree of misconception about like good ways to use fourth, and I found myself struggling with like procedure definition and things such as that. And then I well, Christmas happened, I guess you would say. Like Christmas time happened. I came back and I was just like, oh, it's time for Lisp and C. We continue down this path, which we probably should take a look at where were we last with the Lisp style. I think we were working on the server here. I've been thinking about Prolog as well. Like I think of like I think sometimes about the sections, I guess, of programming that I'm still like are wholly like foreign to me. And Prolog comes across as like a big one. I think the array languages as well are like another pretty massive knowledge gap. Or pretty massive knowledge gap for me. I'm not as like, you know, intrigued by these if I'm being honest as I am by like something like Prolog. They seem interesting. They just also seem like a mess of like needing to remember new symbols, which I tend to avoid having to do this to some degree. But I've been thinking about Prolog a lot, and I'm just like this would be a cool avenue to. They put so much cool like they put so many cool things in this world like, and so little time as they say, which is, you know, the true tragedy of our times is how much access there is to cool things. I want to write a little prologue. This is what I've been thinking. So this is let's see. I found this oh wait. Writing prologue better Haskell programmer. I found this while yeah, this art. I think here I can link it here. I found this and it made me think, damn, I should learn some prologue. Yeah, disaster for me personally. Oop will never be complete. This is kind of like why I think I'm going. I've decided that until the break begins, at least we're probably going full steam ahead Wayland style, because I think of, you know, I get these stray interest in ideas, you know, affix themselves to me like you know, they just affix themselves to me like a little mushroom spore that then begins to enter my mind and take hold. And then I think of poor Fade asking about Wayland again, and I'm just like, I'm sorry to report, but we're doing Elixir instead, or something to this nature. but yeah, I've been thinking about this, which I think I found this one because they had a similar article, but it was for. Can we go to? Yeah, I was reading about Agda, and they had a similar one for Agda, which links the prologue one in my previous post, learning prologue to be a better Haskell programmer, and I was just like, oh, the way things like the way like the web of connections that the mind is able to make by just adding one new node to the knowledge tree like that exists in our brains. It's really exciting. Like I think about this a lot in terms of I've been doing a lot of Rust lately, and doing Rust has made me a bit better with like C programming even. Like I look at like the C like some of the C that I've been writing differently like after doing a bit of Rust. And vice versa, like doing I like this is a normal response to Rust. You see, I doing Haskell, I think finally broke me of my struggles with Rust. It was exciting. It was kind of an exciting time, like because I used to fight this language. I had never fought a language as much as I fought with like understanding Rust. And then I picked it up on a whim, and I was like, wait, this all makes sense to me now. Like I and I'm just like this is kind of like Haskell, but it's easier to like do things way better C part. Yeah, I think about this like I focus more on like I understand I think more carefully about like typecasting. How about you see I often like I find my like I find myself I find myself like perpetually like humbled like by my like I guess like C programming abilities. The moment I look at literally anybody else's like writing of C, like I'm like I know my way around this language, and then I see anything, and I'm just like, wow, I barely know my way. But I also think this is kind of like a thing with C as well. Is like no, it's such a weird language. Like once you get to like the more odd details of it, like it's more about I think like knowing your compiler to some degree. Yeah, open up a file at a Lucha. Yeah, I think it's like a big portion as well as like knowing your compiler with C, like along like with the language itself, because there's a lot that like if you read about it, it's just like this is implementation dependent and non portable, and then you like is another issue, and you have to make the choice of like do you want something that is like non portable if like it fits like what you need to do. I C is weird as hell. I think like that's another thing that like Rust is kind of like doing more Rust has like taught me is like C is kind of a weird as hell language, and that makes it difficult. Yeah, it is fucking crazy. This is the case. I I really started like I typecasting. This has kind of been the big one. Like whenever I do see like historically, I don't really think whenever I like or well I think like before I cast, but like I don't think of the act of casting as just this. It's kind of a strange thing that you're just allowed to do that. And you really only get like you only really get like warnings, you know, at the worst if there's like a like you're like casting a shorter type like to a larger type. Yeah, yeah. This is kind of the case. I think of it like this, like and I think this is like kind of the object oriented like C aspect as well as like you because a lot of that is just we're going to have like our pointer and we're going to cast it to like all these structs and like the user will never be able to access these structs directly, and that's just it's kind of an odd thing. Like whenever I think about it, like the way you kind of do it, it's just like we're just recasting over and over. Like this is, I mean, like if you look at like the Wayland source, like I think if we go to a Wayland server, which is where we should be anyway. Yeah, opaque pointer moment. I think. Oh, what the hell is this? Why do we have a Wayland list empty? Oh, that's just like the way it's highlighted. Server pro. Can we go to the not source? I think what we're looking for here is the they store it in the tests. That's it. And oh, you live in data. I think you live in data. Um, data, data. This is where we live. Yeah, I think like a good example of this, honestly, is the example server. And if we go down, I will say this about C. Whenever the documentation is good, it's some of the best. Like, even if it is the oxygen, like it's some of the best. Whenever it's bad, though, I will not lie. C, like poorly documented C is kind of like is pure hell because I don't know what I'm looking at sometimes. But yeah, I think of on a good day there's docs. This is kind of the case. This is definitely the case. I feel like I think a lot of at least you know whether of the tools that exist for other languages could learn a thing or two from Emacs. So, Emacs just kind of complains at you if you don't add documentation, and it does this for most things to my or from what I've seen. I feel like this is a good thing. Like this should be like a thing that you should see more often. That's just like, hey, you didn't add documentation to this, um, to this thing right here. But yeah, I believe I instead of actually defining in the language. Yeah, this I think of honestly with Wayland, it's kind of impressive too, like the way they have the documentation because this is all kind of from the XML parser. So I'm able to carry the documentation over into the list form, which is rather cool. Resource post event. That is the um. Look at this bug cord. Look at this. Look at this. Um. What, this is really well for. Wait, what is this? Wait. Whoa. So I see the instruction format. What is this for? I This is pretty impressive. Is this wait, this is really impressive. Oh, this is cool. I wonder about I wonder about assembly because I feel like assembly I think of I feel like assembly language language files would be something that needs really good documents. Wait, nothing about why. I think about assembly language I feel like this might oh, are you still looking at the table? Oh, okay. I see. That's less exercise to the reader. Uh, no, I don't. I think about this as well. Very cool documented assembly guy. Okay, Jones fourth. Yeah, because I do. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Because I wonder about this. And this may be. Oh, this is like a book. Wait. and perhaps it's because I don't know like assembly, but like I think like whenever I see like assembly like instructions in a file, I'm like I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, and it's not like in the I don't know it because I don't know like the syntax and everything. I can, I mean that definitely is an aspect of it, but like I don't like know in the sense of like I feel it feels very much like how it felt like looking at more commons than I think this is probably the best ratio. Like I think that like especially for something like this, I I think about like what like self documenting language. Like I think GNU Guile does this to some degree. Like there's very much like it's not self documenting in the sense that like the documentation like writes itself, but like the naming conventions that a lot of like the GNU Guile like uses like like Shepherd for example, they like the names and everything in their own like way are almost like a form of like documentation alongside the actual documentation. But it does it gets funny reading like geeks like package source code and like seeing like somebody like say hey this is broken, and you check that comment like 3 months later it's still kind of there. It's just like oh it'll be fixed someday. um this is really cool. um I might read this tonight. Like I might read this before bed. I might. Yeah, honestly, I do that quite a bit. I read GitHub before bed, or like just repositories. Like it's kind of relaxing, even if I never plan to use them. Like this is cool. This is it's like, uh, I feel like I don't know. To some degree, it's like seeing a tweet, but like it's seeing somebody's like project. I you know I think of maybe not a tweet. Like what is it like? It feels like to some degree like uh, especially like GitHub because you can like follow things like or follow like threads of like interest pretty like quick pace through that one by like looking at people's like you know what they've like starred and everything. It feels like going to like a hobby like subreddit I guess you would say and just reading the posts there. It's a similar feeling, but possibly more exciting because I'm like I could use this someday if I wanted to as like another aspect of it. But where were we here? I think with this we were working with the displays last. Oh, this is the server.c. We don't want the c. We want I think what we want is server core.h. Yes, this is it. This is it. And where did we live last? I guess the better question in this regard is like what seems like the last like well documented thing. We were working on the display. The event loops seem like they were wrapped. It's been like I think 2 or 3 weeks since I've opened this up. We can actually see how long, but I got kind of taken away with the Lisp on the stack. Like became like a primary focus for quite some time. Oh, it has 3 stars. That's kind of terrifying. That's oh yeah, about 2 weeks. About that's terrifying. Oh, 3 people are aware of this. That's kind of scary. But also I guess it exciting to some degree as well. All from the oh well, you see, this might be the case. I also like in a fit of hubris, I posted it to the to to the Lisp subreddit, thinking people might find this cool. And then I immediately like I had a bit of I guess you'd say like not necessarily regret of like I shouldn't have done that, but the sort of the fear of being perceived because it got a bit of traction. I was just like, oh, people are aware of this now, and it's you know, I I think about it now, like, but it was kind of exciting getting to speak to some other people that have been in the zone of like Lisp slash Wayland like development, because this has been a, a bit of a bit of a battle, I think, in the Lisp zone, and it was kind of nice talking to some of the other people. I think that if we actually look at, I can we tab, if we actually look at this guy right here, the Malcolm Still, which was kind of where it all began. I got to talk to someone who has been, you know, a contributor to this in the past, which was, I think, the one go around at a Wayland, like a Lisp Wayland compositor many moons ago, and it was kind of exciting. And I'm just like, this would be cool to see this make a comeback. Because it's been quite, but there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built first, I think, beyond just Wayland, like libxkb comin, for example, and others. You know, Wayland and Friends, I think, really is like what it comes down to. Not just Wayland, but we shall persist, we shall persist forward as ever. Yeah, I think what we were, server event loop. Okay. So that's where we were beginning. That's where we were. Um, so we had the creation, or like create and destroy. That doesn't go in event loop. That goes in display. That goes in display. Why this goes here, and I think this goes here. Okay, yeah. We still have to create the event loop section. Which the documentation, I'll probably do that off stream, because honestly, like, it's just a lot of like writing, like descriptors. But we should probably start adding some of these. So we have the method of creation, and then we have destroy. And here comes kind of the challenge: is this, the actual server documentation is not very well documented. So we should probably open up Wayland server, Wayland server.c. And it looks like what we need is the file descriptor for the event loop. Okay. Oh, you aren't defined in this. Oh, this is perhaps not. We'll go ahead and expose it, since it is exposed here. But I wonder what it's pulling from. What do we? So what do we pull from? Oh, that's a lot. I bet it's the. I bet it's the private. I bet that we're taking some things from private. And I don't know. I want to do my I want to do my due diligence here, and not just export things that I need, but like actually export things that are more generally needed. I think you, oh and or best of luck, XR Xavier. Good luck with locking in. Good luck with locking in on this front. I wish you well, and the best of luck. I think, is this where we live? Ah, this is where we live. Event loop add FD. Okay, okay, we found it. These gotta lock in so you can Greg more. This is yeah. This is something I gotta get on Greg. I gotta get back on Greg. Out. This will probably be a post move thing, but I gotta Greg. I've been thinking. I was trying to describe it to a friend, a friend who was into Minecraft. I was trying to describe the like we were talking about mod packs. I was like, oh, this one is wild. So we see that these exist. Factor. You see, this is what I think, and I think this is perhaps why I haven't like jumped like off the deep end into it is because I know that if I do, I will forget that all other things would probably wash away to some degree because I can yeah it's Sergio I can go wild for a long time in Minecraft just like vanilla Minecraft even now that like you like mix together sort of like you see this was the case this was so there okay last gamer tangent I promise but are you aware of the solo gamer project Kenshi? Are you aware of this? This is the whenever with the exception of Binding of Isaac, this game is my most played of all time, with the exception of Binding of Isaac, which like in high school I used to leave Binding of Isaac like running on the computer all day, and I'd go to school and come back and just like get back. Like I'd play it right before school, and then I'd be like, oh, I have school. I just leave it turned on so that like the I think the original before you could save like like the before like you had saves like and I would be like okay time to go to school come back 8 hours later and be like okay let's get back into it. Kenshi is the other one. This game like I played it. I remember playing it. One of the times I moved, I was playing this the last night, like at my previous place. Like I refused to put it down until like to the last minute. And this is sort of, you know, how I imagine in my head, like combining like something like Factorio style Minecraft, like will activate the same neurons in my brain that Kenshi activated. It was it was exciting though. It was exciting, but I'm wary I'm wary of games with like crafting and like building elements for this reason alone. Like because these are the ones that once I pick them up, I'm like we shall be here for a while. It's going to get you. This is the RimWorld was another one. RimWorld almost got me, but I lost everything in that one, and I was like, I did not have the heart to replay after everybody in my world died. Just it was kind of downhill. Like it was the one like powerful person in my RimWorld save, or like my I guess you'd say like de facto like leader, had his son die and then went on a rampage and started killing people as a result. And I'm like, okay, I guess it's just kind of over with now. Like I guess we're over. And I did not have the heart to return. So we can do event loop add FD, and then what are we calling as the so we have an event loop here. So just say loop. Oh wait, that's a keyword. We don't want to do that. Or a macro, not a keyword. We so we have that. We have the file descriptor. Are we doing masking? So what does this actually do? And how do we like expose this via Lisp like accurately? Because this create a file descriptor. Let's see. a bitwise or of which events to watch for. Ah, okay, so that's the enum that we have up there. Okay. Given file descriptors initially, watch for the events given in mask. This can be changed as needed with update. Okay, so we will need to describe that or those aspects as well. And we'll call this the dispatch function. And then data, I believe, is always optional. Yeah, I believe that we always want to expose data as an optional. Anytime that appears in Wayland, we want to describe it as like an optional thing because it's not always passed. Let's see. So, how can we describe this like in such a way that right, create a file, not file descriptor for and then how do we want to describe these? So let's see. So what does this actually do like internally? Right, where event loop is the where event loop is the loop that will process the new source, and FD is the descriptor to watch. And then I think we want to describe so param mask is bitwise or for Wayland event readable or Wayland event writable. And then how does the dispatcher go in this? Yeah, so for dispatcher it's func. Okay, where are we calling func? Oh, we're applying that to the interface. Okay. Alright, so we'll describe the mask as Wayland event readable or Wayland event writable from Wayland event enum. Alright, Wayland event enum. I think the last thing we want to say about this one right here is just we'll note that we'll probably note that func is the for safe measure we can go ahead and note that data is for the user data. Because I say that we always want that optional and data always represents the actually we can probably make that a little bit more self-documenting by just user data. And then is the file descriptor. And yeah, I think for something like this, we're just going to call the FFI server and Is that not exposed in the server? That is, all right. CFFI. Server. And then, so we're not exposing it, I think. Yeah. Event loop add FD. Okay. So if we just reload that. Okay, nice. And then we can just go ahead and pass these over. And for this one, we want to do OR user data. Yeah, can we actually, there. We want to do either that or the null pointer. And then, okay. Somewhat of a lengthy one. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this style for the formatting. At least for now. At least for stream style, so that we have everything kind of where it can be perceived easily. So that's that. Obviously, updating the file descriptor shouldn't be too complex. Oh wait, that's the source. Event source. And then what are we calling in this one? So if we go here, oh, okay, these are in order. Okay, thank goodness. If we state this, so, update a file descriptors source with mask. Where mask can be either Wayland event writable or Wayland event readable from Wayland event enum. Okay, and then this one seems like a relatively okay, so what do we want the return? Okay, so it returns 0 on success or 1 on failure. So that gives a little bit more to work with on that. Yeah, Wayland event. Or wait, it's Wayland event source. Oops. Source FD update. All right, and then we can go ahead and add that one right here. So event source FD update. Okay, FD update. And then I think with this one, what we want to actually do is we'll bind it to a let. We'll do let result, and then FFI server, Wayland, event source, FDFA. And we'll bind it to a result here so that we can provide probably a bit more information if this errors out instead of just 0 or -1. So we can do something like so when minus p, yeah, when minus p result, we'll probably want to format this to the to like an error port. So what is the error output? Do we do that or do we use UIOP standard error? All right, what is the documentation for this? The original output stream on startup. What do they do? Common list standard error. So what is the actual common Lisp like standard error? Like what is the error output? Okay, that was correct. We'll go ahead and use that just so we're not because like the UI out makes it feel a little bit more awkward. And then in all cases, we will go ahead and return the result here. Let's see. So what sort of is the error response for this? Let's see. Causes dispatch. File descriptors are usually writable to begin with, so they do not need to be pulled for writable until a write actually fails. When a write fails, the event mask can be changed to pull for readable and writable, delivering a dispatch callback when it is possible to write more. Once all data has been written, the mask can be changed. All right. Internal. Okay. Let's see. Because we have our destructors. So add timer. Oh, and these are just for setup on the timer. Okay. Holy shit. That's a lot. That's a lot for the Oh, we don't begin again until like line 5. That's a lot of setup. Well, I guess timers are somewhat complex. That kind of makes sense to some degree as well. So we already have that there. Add timer. And then event loop, add timer. And I'll probably do the documentation like post stream. I feel rather silly writing long doc strings like and trying to talk at the same time to some degree. But this is the way of things, I guess one would say. Create a timer event source. But we are doing a loop, a dispatch function, or oh wait, we can't call it that. We have to call it event loop. And then timer function, and then as always, optional data. I'll put the very basic one here, I guess, create a timer event source. yeah, I'll put that one, and then so the question is, we in both cases we return a Wayland event source. But we want to, it looks like, on these return null if we on failure, which makes sense. Which makes sense. But we can do with that something similar. We can do something similar to try and catch the. Can we grab this? Yeah, event loop, add timer. So we can set this to the result, and for this actually, you're not able to just do like nil p due to the, because we're looking for but now we run into a bit more of like, we run into a slightly more complex issue now. Yeah, okay, this because we want to return a struct, which we never want to return like raw pointers for, yeah, we never want to return raw pointers whenever it comes to kind of like getting these set up. So we're in a bit more of a yeah, pointer. This is kind of the true challenge of this is kind of like the true challenge of like the translating the CFFI is like, whenever we encounter something that returns a struct, like we can do probably some pointers. Like there are some cases, and I think these are even like in the like actual like generated protocol where, or like in the like Lisp generated protocol, we can, if we look at this file for example, if we go to tests fuck.lisp, I believe it's the, yeah, it's the I may have even resolved some of this. Oh yeah, like the Wayland registry interface, for example. Like sometimes it's unavoidable to like hand over like just a straight up pointer. But we should consider this with the list more of like, you know, this is a somewhat unfortunate thing to have to do, and we should avoid it whenever we're able to. Which I think this is time a time for class, if I'm being honest. Which means we need to take a look at how we have the event source set up. So we have an event loop. We don't have an event source. All right. So they have an event source signal. And do we expose this? Abstract event source, and we certainly can't have this actually be abstract. We need some sort of object to affix it to. So I think this, what we need to do in this case is up here near the top. We'll go ahead and define another class here. The and we'll inherit from Wayland object. I think similarly, this will just be a way to hold the class itself. Although we might want to provide some like additional slot information, I think that we may be able to like, like do a p list of do a p list for this. Yeah, I think a p list is actually the way to go. So we'll just documentation to do, because I think this is what we do in some degree. Line 61. Here, let's go ahead and blank this out really quick. Yeah, because if we describe, if we go to scribe style and we do no direct slots. So it gets its slots from the object. So Wayland. And I think that what we will want this in is the. So MPL is our list. If we take a look at, if we hop into source and we go to client, no, list client, well, for this we're doing we're doing metadata as the plist here. Okay. So what we probably want is yeah, because these are acting on the proxy. So what we need to define is, or what we need to figure out on this is actually what our kind of like similar setup on the server side is for a proxy like a proxied object. Which I think it's I think for here it is not protocol logger, a resource. Yeah, I think the Wayland resource is what we have to take a look at. And can we get struct Wayland resource? And then do we actually have a... Oh god, there's the fines in this one. So this doesn't seem to actually describe the Wayland resource, which is somewhat frustrating, but it's probably... We can probably figure that out if we go into the is that perhaps in Wayland server.h? Ah, here we go. Let's see. So it doesn't really describe the Wayland resource, but we can sort of get some ideas of what this thing might be. I think similar to the proxy, we want to inherit from the object. We probably want to do a full one-to-one between these two. Yeah, we probably want to do a full one-to-one between these two descriptors because they are used like on both the client and server side to my knowledge, like somewhat not interchangeably but similarly, I guess. They run parallel would probably be the way to describe it. But by making this, we need to define a few more methods on this. So do we have Wayland resource exposed publicly in the server? No. So I think we'll go ahead and define it right here. Let's see. And how do we do this client style? Because the issue with proxies is they are both opaque and non. Okay, so we go opaque style here as well. So I think we'll do kind of one-to-one with those. I think so, this will be the case. Is we'll go kind of one-to-one with these two, and then we can return to here, and then that export. Indeed it did. And then we'll need to do the same thing with the event loop. Or not the event loop, the event source. We already have event loop. We need source. And if we copy that and wait on event source. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then probably what we want to do is move this one right here. And keep the methods next to what they go with. And okay. Wayland resource. And then this one is a Wayland event source. Wait a sec. Where? Okay. Event source. Okay, it's right there. And does this work? Okay, now it works. Okay, okay, here we go. So I think for what began this adventure, it was the timer. It was the timer. Yeah, it was and we were doing this in eventloop.c, which lives all the way over here. Add timer, because we have to return a source. I think that means that for the source at least, we want to go ahead and return, or we want to define like a metadata structure on that as well, since we will need to class that stuff together. Yeah, because these are... Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's how we do it. Setf, getf, metadata. Okay. Okay, we can... We got this. I think what's interesting here is we are creating one. Okay. But do we have a like an event source create function? This is a rat. Okay, this is... Oh, this is kind of... Okay, this is somewhat... So we return source.base. Okay. I think we can just... Yeah, we can just do a setf getf on that. So for something like this, we will do source make instance, and then so we set that to that. Oh, we do need to add the arguments into this one and this one as well. Source mask, and then similarly here, we want to add event loop timer function and or let's say user data. And just so I can actually see the arguments being passed, I'm going to do these right here. User data, CFI, null pointer. Okay, okay. And then similarly, format error output. Let's see. It's initially disarmed. It needs to be armed with a call. So I'm assuming that this return null on failure. We can just say fail to add timer to, or like fail to add timer. We don't want to create a source though if we aren't successfully creating the timer. So I think what we'll do is something like this. So if we fuck up, we can like actually no, we can just do an if here. So like if it's fucked up, we do that. If it's not fucked up, we immediately enter a new let scope. Alright, make instance, and then yeah, this is okay. This is how we do it. This is how. So if we were completely unable to make the timer for this, we want to go ahead and format like to error output. That'll automatically return nil, and we can say oof. We can say oof, I guess, in that regard. However, we do successfully create that timer. We do want to go ahead, create an event source, and then we want to, yeah, we want to setf, getf, metadata, and in this we do source. And then what do we want to set the result to? So we are returning base in this case. But we don't seem to have access to this. This probably should be obscured. Um, Obscured from the user, so we should be able to just return source. Like so. Resource. Okay, resource. That does not exist. Okay, there we go. Short name accessor is a keyword. An event source. Oh, oops. Okay, there. Did that compile without errors? Or not compile, but evaluate without errors? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got it. Oh, the server is kind of rough compared to the client. I I guess they devised it into multiple files for reasons I don't fully understand. And this updates the timer. We are so we want to pass the source to this. This is so wait. Because with this, we have an event loop struct. We don't want to just pass in, because doing it this style, we would have to straight up pass in an event loop, like an event loop pointer. So I think what we would need to do is something like just C struct event loop. What we need to do once we get to the timer dispatcher, and I can add a to do above these. Figure out how to wrap timer, because the timer function is going to be a callback, which in the like the CFFI like specification, it states that call or it makes callbacks a pointer, and we want to perhaps embed these within like one of our objects. And if we do that, we would if we do that like embed them in the same object we're passing like into this function, we could probably reduce the number of like arguments the actual user has to process. But I think we're first going to need to see like how that's actually like how that's done. We've yet to get to that. We've yet to comb that deep into the code translation. But we want to do that for the dispatch function as well. So we'll just do callback functions, and then what else do we want to worry about in this regard? I think that's the main one. I think that's the main one there. And user data. And user data. This is another one. But sort of on that note, yeah, we should not be laying these bare. We need to pass in the pointer to the underlying C structure here. And similarly here. And then we need to well, we have to use result because we're not using it here. So yeah, we'll use this kind of setup, the meta data, and then what do they call this on the C side? The base. Because let's see. Because it's the base of the timer. Okay. Because we're creating a timer struct. And then what I find interesting in this is the wait, hold on. This is somewhat complex. Yeah, this is somewhat complex because what we're doing is we are creating a Wayland event source timer structure by the name of source, which has as its base a Wayland event source, which that we want to return. So it is we're nesting this like one within the other. What we probably want to do in this respect is potentially approach it backwards. Now that I think about it, but we'll have to see like Wayland event source timer. Yeah, so this defines a base like existing within it. But it's internal. This is and then our actual like Wayland event source. has no such timer. So we might need to. This is a bit of a conundrum. I suppose what we could do in this case is, since we know we are doing a Wayland event source, like so, because we have our keys here. Yeah, I think we can just do. I think this is what we have to do. So pass in the result as the C struct, which then begs the question of do we expose C struct? Do we expose this? And then arg and then form accessor. Okay, we do. This is rather positive. But since this requires modification of the C struct, for the event source, we need to probably do something like that. Undefined variable. Okay. Because this, so we'll need to look at the initialized instance probably documentation a little bit to under, because the issue is we want to set a structure for like the C structure if it does like if it does not exist like as a base, like we need to allocate and create that. But if we're setting it through another function, we don't want to accidentally like overwrite that here. So all right, here we go. Initialize instance and keys instance. Let's see. Called by make instance to initialize a new created instance. The generic function is called with the new instance. The system has applied a primary method on initialize instance. And then let's see. Programmers can define methods to specify actions taken when an instance is initialized. Only after methods are defined, they will be run after systems applied primary method, and therefore will not interfere with default behavior. I think this might be what we want. Yeah, this. I guess the best way to test that, honestly, is in the REPL. Which, if we go ahead and format, well, then we would need an event loop as the issue. We would have to create an event loop and a callback for this. We might for this have to put a like to do for testing. We will probably return to this one. I would say on like Tuesday. Unpack this conundrum to some degree. But for now, we'll just do it to do Hawk Tuesday indeed. It is it already, it already feels like it's around the corner. But no, we're kind of we're entering kind of the, I guess you would say, the wind down portion to some degree of this one. As the as we inch ever nearer toward 10 p.m. and um I get sleepy. I get sleepy. I guess is the best way to describe it. So let me indeed. This is the case. You see, I think we would be good to go on this one on like the overriding of these, but this will be. I'll probably end up having to ask about this in the IRC common list, like in the common list IRC, like because methods are still somewhat of a conundrum to me. Not necessarily like the methods themselves, but like the before and after and around like descriptors for methods. I'm not sure if that affects like argument order whenever these are passed in, and I was hoping for more initialization function keyword check. Wait, generic function creates a new instance. So what is the cleanup issue? Several hundred of its decisions in modular fashion. Okay, we might be hot on the case here. 1991. Oh, let's see. A careful reading indicates that users must specify allow other keys in the Lambda list of methods for initialization functions. If the method also specifies and key, else risk having generic function keyword argument checking signal an error due to the presence of slot filling init args. Let's see. So that's about changing the retain and rest in the syntax description. So that seems about changing the, I guess, for erroneous. I think I may need to test this one out a little bit. Like I might run like do like a mock object on this that doesn't require some complex dance of some complex testma indeed. This is yeah, I think this will probably be our primary thing that we state is can like can probs do a mock um actually we can do this right now. We can do this right now. Def class testma. Okay. And then I think we don't want to inherit anything. We'll just do testma slot and then yeah, and then arg we'll just do it and then arg ts and then we'll do something like that. And then we'll do an initialized instance. So def method after t testma and key and Oh, I didn't give it an accessor. Okay. So how do you do the slot value style? Yeah, how do you go slot value? Is it which part is quoted? Okay, it's the slot is quoted. And we'll do :C because oh, T cannot be used. Oops. We'll do TM. We'll do :C for this because I would be sad if we have to fuck around a little bit more with the slots to figure out how to fix it. But we'll do :C. And then we will defund col3, and then let's go ahead and pass that in there, and then we can go ahead and just make. Actually, we don't need to pass anything in there. We'll just go ahead and make instance Tesma, and then what did we call what did we key this into? All right, TS. We'll do :3 because this is an occasion of joy. An occasion of joy. And I'll just do let v and we will hope for the best. Fuck. Fuck. We got :C. We got :C. Oh fuck. So I think I think what we could do is maybe does something like that. Does that do the error unbound? Okay. What if we go this style? No. All right. I think we found a we found a bit of a fuck, and we found a bit of a fuck in this. This is kind of fucked up. Yeah, we are sorry. Oh, hello, Sundemoniac. Well, welcome in. Well, I hope you're well. I hope you're well. We are so seed. We are so :C with this. I hope you're well. You welcome. We actually we're about to make our grand voyage onward into the raid button, the distant stars. But we are so :C right now. This is we do not wait. We quite literally are. We quite literally are. Like if we look at is it control? Oh no, not that. How the hell do you zoom in Emacs? How do I always forget this? How do I always forget this? Um OMG name change. How do I how do I how do I forget this? Oh, CXC plus. We quite literally are :C. This is this is the truth of the matter. We have right here. We It was almost prophetic to some degree. It was almost prophetic. Oh, I cannot see here. Overwrite. Text scale increase. Um, oh yeah, these are increase and decrease. Yeah, I just forget what the bindings are. I probably need to rebind them because I always press like I need to like one day whenever I forget like figure out what the first attempt I make is and then bind it to that. Because I never think it's CX C plus. That or remember I always want to type zoom. I might just alias this to zoom in and zoom out because these are not claimed. These are not claimed. I could do something probably like bug zoom. Um, but this is we oh god, I'm gonna re-enter the config. This is gonna be something that happens now. I've been configuring Emacs for like 3 days straight. I've been back on my org configuration. Because I learned about okay, this I learned about this package org noter, a synchronized org mode document annotate. This is the coolest fucking thing ever. This is I would because I've been reading a lot of ebooks lately, and I stumbled upon this. It allows you to create an org file like next to I guess you would say like a PDF you have open, and you can choose to take notes on the page, like specific pages, and it will smartly like follow your notes depending on what page you're on. Not only that, but you can take like if we go into if we go into let's open up. Oh, very large invalid choice. No, don't literally. Can we actually? Because this is the one I've been reading. And if we move this over, or it's going to want to open, so we have to move this over really quick. So if we go here, if we go to oh, is it not being saved? Okay, never mind. Just trust me. Just trust me on this one. Just trust me on this one. But yeah, it it's kind of insane. Like it caught me off guard how cool it is. There are key bindings here for the yeah, we have insert note, which if you're in the like your PDF document like buffer, like if you're in the PDF document buffer, it will begin to insert a note for that page. Insert precise note. This is the one that gets me because you can insert you can click like more or less click a portion of the page you want the note to track for, and it tells you like the relative position like in the org document, the relative position of this like note for like where in the PDF. Like if we like it's wild. This kind of like I want to take notes on things just for fun because of this. It kind of blew my mind. I've been messing with this one a lot, and then somewhat more basic, but one that I like a lot is that led me back into the config has been org chef, which is just for recipe tracking, because I do cook. I do like to cook quite a bit. Plus, like, who can say who can say no to that org mode mascot with a chef's hat? Like, this is, you know, yeah, this is art. This is high art. And this one is probably easy to like the or relatively easy to find one's own mode around as well. But like it like any website that has recipes on it, it will uh, create like create a little it'll extract the recipe for you, like similar to like some of those like recipe like saving websites. And I think what this the idea here for this is to replace one one oh hello colonoscopy, welcome. Can we shout out? I hope your stream was well. Can we do the I hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Hello, and Kiram as well. We actually we were about to you know pull a raid ourselves. We were about to do this on our we are approaching this moment. But I hope your stream went well. How were things? How'd it go? How'd it go? We're sort of we're talking cooking right now currently on our end of things. We were talking tracking recipes in Emacs because I use this a lot. I use this a lot. I use it quite a bit. I think you can even probably find me in here. Big book. Am I under here? Wait, I do have to locate me. It went well. Trying to recreate T9 and JS. Recipe in Emacs sounds pleasant. Oh, it is. It is. That sounds really cool, actually. That sounds really cool. Yeah, recipes. So I cook a lot. Perhaps not as much as I once did, but I still do quite a bit. And I'm wondering now, can I locate my own existence in here? Community people. Is this? No, I am perhaps hidden from the world in this. Wait, I know. Let's see. I yeah, I am trying to hunt myself down in this recipe tracker because I used to be quite the creator of recipes. Here we are. Here we are. All right, this is it. This is it. Let's see. Oh no, it's privated. Never mind. Okay, we no longer exist for the public eye, I guess. We know that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. I need to reopen that because I have like I think like 200 recipes saved, and I've cooked quite a few. A favorite one I've been thinking about is this. I think it was this one. Yes, this. I made this German chocolate cake, and I think about it to this day. Big book of recipes. First we cook, then first we mine, then we craft. Yeah. Oh no, it was rather beautiful. It was a rather beautiful thing to make. I do this a lot. I can make a wild tiramisu. I can make a I think it's the same website that I got the tiramisu recipe from. This is Nora Cooks. Yes, Nora Cooks is where I get all my desserts from. She does desserts really well. I had never eaten. Okay, okay. This is we're going a little bit bug lore now. I got to an argument with um you know, I got into an argument with someone from Italy over this. I was doing a some years ago. I was doing a recipe challenge, and the recipe challenge is 52 weeks of cooking. Um, if it is a it is based on Reddit. It is based on Reddit, but the idea of the challenge is that every week there is a new a yeah weekly challenge list. There's a new theme. There's a new theme, and the themes are very much based like on just like a single word usually, or this like a technique you're intimidated by. Like that one's a bit more direct, but like dinosaurs, dinosaurs. Like, and you cook based on the theme. Like battered citrus birthday cake. Like you cook based on the theme. I guess. Oh, that's cute. That's really cute. The dinosaur bento. You cook based on the theme. So I did this. One of the themes was one of the themes was ended up with me creating a tiramisu, and I you know I posted the tiramisu, but so here's the thing. It's commonly made with ladyfingers, are is the name of the cake base for this. I could not find. So I've just for context, like I've been vegan, I think, for like 3.5 years now. I've been vegan for like 3.5 years. I've been like vegetarian for close to 10 years. If I'm close to 10 years now, if I'm doing my math right. I've been vegetarian, but um, they do not have vegan ladyfingers, which was a bit of a challenge because you know I I ended up having to make my own, which is how I stumbled on this one, which you end up making technically like sort of I guess you would say like discount ladyfingers by creating like a vanilla cake. Eventually, I found out how to like make like closer to like authentic like ladyfingers, but I did I was relatively fresh with baking at the time of this. I made these, and I posted it. Someone someone got really angry at me. Someone got really upset. I guess like maybe this is just the nature of Reddit. I don't really use I used Reddit for this, but beyond that, I seldom use it. If I'm being honest, like I used to post like kimchi screenshots and food. Like those are the things I have. Like I tended to post on Reddit. Yeah, no, I offended like a lone Italian who was like, "Hey, I'm Italian. Just to let you know, this isn't really tiramisu." And they were like, you can call it a coffee cake, but this is not tiramisu, and so you shouldn't call it such." And I started off like just kind of trying to let them know I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry for like or like I'm sorry if like this was like like a I don't I'm like sorry if like I'm misunderstanding, but like I had all of these ingredients that are a kind of part of the thing. I was missing the lady fingers, however, because I could not find these, so I did my best. I think that calling this tiramisu is okay enough, given like the nature of like what I had to substitute. And in the end, they kind of went off on me. Like I perhaps I'm wrong here, but I felt very like I did not know people got so heated about the name of tiramisu versus a I guess vanilla cake. Offended the lady finger kingdom, and the it was still good. It was still so good. Like it was still really good. I found out because like I don't like it was kind of weird though because like I ended up like I guess this is a thing with Reddit is you can you can look at people's accounts. Like if you're in an argument, you can look at somebody's account and be like, "What do you do? What? Why are you on this website? What like?" Because I think that like with Reddit, like people who use like I feel like I don't know. I was never like a big Reddit user, so I may misunderstand the purpose of it. But for me, it's like a sort of like almost like a feed aggregator, like to some degree of like you, it's what we have because we don't have forums anymore. I go on there if there's something like really like weird. Yeah, I yeah, I found out that people use it like rather frequently. Like this is social media for some people. I guess is the way to describe it. And this person would like all of theirs was arguments. It were arguments, which I guess it's I get there are people use it like social. I don't know. It was kind of a weird exposure. I was just like, people use Reddit like they use Twitter, but like, um, I think of like a lot of like Twitter, like whenever you see a Twitter beef, it gets really, but okay, so that's the thing is like Twitter beefs are about like end up being kind of about who is like funniest almost or like who is like and usually like the idea of humor is like somewhat cruel, so it ends up being like who can be the cruelest to the other. It's about the comeback. It's about the comeback. The impression I get of Reddit is this is kind of lost, and it feels more about like who is the most right, almost like who is the most correct in their opinion. But yeah, it's about the feeling of superiority. It's probably the best way to put it. Is kind of the sense I got from this because like I don't know, like I don't like if I'm being honest, I don't think there's any good like really any good social media out there anymore. Or ever. Like the concept of social media itself kind of killed a little bit of like the zeal of using like the computer to like interact socially. Like was kind of you know boxed in by the invention of like social media. I just miss forums on this front, but like Reddit feels very serious. Like or like I whenever I occasionally like chance the comments. It seems like such a serious place. Um, and I thought this was just confined to like the fact that like I would read like very like niche subreddits for like a particular thing I was interested in, like a hobby. I thought that was the source of. I think that's just the website. I think that's just the website. It's a very serious place. There are chill subreddits. I think this might be the case. This is this might be the case as well. But it felt I don't know like I think like my primary interaction I think like I to this day I think about the tiramisu interaction because I think that was like one of the strangest negative like I've had some like a decent amount of negative interactions on the internet, but that was one of the strangest I would say. Kind of, but the smaller ones are chill. This might be the case. It, I yeah, this might actually be or this kind of sums it up because I do like I said I look at a lot of the hobby ones and these tend to be like relatively small. And I this is yeah. So this actually tracks. I didn't know there were large like subreddits. I guess would be a thing. Like I didn't realize this was. I don't. I wasn't aware that like full like I kind of knew, but like I didn't know. I guess would be the way I describe it. That there are these like that like there's kind of like a larger user base who's not like I follow like the XYZ like subreddit because I like this hobby, but instead of like I use Reddit like like as a thing. Like this is a new thing for me. But I do think I we are far over time, and I am starting to ramble about Reddit. We've lost the plot to some degree, in the endings here. But where do we go? Where do we go? Let's see. So who is alive? This is really the question. Like who amongst the who exists in the realm of the living from which we shall there are three other green. I think uh honestly I want to start hexadigital. I love hexadigital. I but who is doing what, I guess, is the aspect which we investigate in this regard. Who is, let's see. Oh wait. I is that is this the Shibisaka? Wait, okay, yeah, I think we're going here. I think we are going to to Misaka. This is exciting. You know that, you know, as always, it is just a simple statement. Above all, bug, as we say. We say bug. All right. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to. We have the. We have the location. I forgot that these exist. I forgot to do these. Let me here. I will show these really quick. And okay. We go. Goodbye all. We go.
Is that they welcome the big